And it's clear that the game to watch at the beginning of this match day was India versus Syria.
Oh, yeah.
With India finally showing up for a match within the first half, you could tell these guys were motivated for this matchup. This is the one they circled when they got assigned this group, and when they saw who they were scheduled to face off against, you could see that it was Syria that they were most looking forward to facing off against and playing. And you could tell because the players were just so much more lively, man. They were so much more responsive defensively and even at times threatening in that first half, while Syria also sticking to their game plan and trying to seek out a result here because a win would almost secure them, almost guarantee them progress into the next round. A lot at stake in this match, and I just love that going into it within the first 10-15 minutes, you could tell both these teams were up for it.
Oh, yeah. I had to wake up real early for this game, 5:15 a.m. here in the morning. And as soon as this game started, my ass was perked up, dude. I was like, oh, okay.
Espresso.
Both of these teams were here to go for it. Specifically Syria, man, because from the get-go, they had a fierce intensity on the ball. And India, in their own right, were completely up for the challenge, too, just on the defensive end. Looking at the whole game, for 70-some odd minutes, it really was just one mode, a very frantic, frenetic game where Syria had a lot of the ball and they tried to attack India in as many ways as they could. But every single chance that Syria tried to craft, it was met with a really strong Indian defense. But what was so cool about this game is I just couldn't tell when the goal was going to come. Because they just couldn't get a series of really good chances. They were always somewhat of a quarter or half chance, but they always had the ball. But I just loved it, man. The energy, again, that frantic feel to this game made this 0-0 match really entertaining to see.
No, dude, you're right, because for those first 70 minutes, I really did feel like any team could score at any moment. And I was waiting to get that answer. Who's going to do it? Who's going to crack the deadlock here? Because are we going to end up getting a 0-0 result here, dude? Man? That would hurt so much to get after the game that we were given in the beginning. But ultimately, it was the Indian offense that showed itself out to be washed, and it was Syria that came through, breaking the deadlock with Girbin scoring a massive, massive goal in this game and in Syria's footballing history, securing them progress into the next round with a beautiful, beautiful touch in the box to get himself some space and finishing it really nice and low to the bottom left corner. Syria goes up 1-0, and it's absolute scenes.
Dude, crazy amount of ecstasy when could have been put in that goal for Syria to go up 1-0, knowing that they'd probably go into the next round. But that's what it took, dude. It took Omar Kurbin, Syria's best player over the last 15 years, to come off the bench and save the day. What a lovely strike, though. Completely deserved. I thought Syria were more on the front foot for the entire game anyway, so I think for them to go up 1-0 was justified, definitely. But just looking at the game as a whole, I think both teams pretty much played as best as they could. And I think it's very telling, right? Because India, when you look at the game that they played today, very organized at the back, incredibly strong defensively. Jingan, who unfortunately got injured at the second half. Subhashish and their goalkeeper, Gurpreet. Dude, I thought they were fantastic today. The goalkeeper didn't make a foot wrong. And again, the one-on-one defending of Subhashish and Jingan were phenomenal. They're so good defensively, but when you go to the upper part of this Indian squad, it's a bit disjointed in the attack, and hence why they were unable to score a single goal in this tournament. So I think the game that India gave us today is very telling of who they are right now. There's a good backbone defensively. They just need to figure out their offense, man. And then for Syria, well, they've had 3 really good games, I think, in this tournament. They've played pretty much the exact same in every single game. And it's just a team that is so confident, so comfortable on the defensive end. And then, honestly, pretty good in midfield. Good at holding the ball when they need to. And pretty decent in build-up. The only thing they do struggle with, though, is converting their chances, man. Syria they just don't really have goal scorers.
I think for India, I just leave this tournament so bummed that they didn't even get one goal. One moment to celebrate a goal. I think, like you said, what they need to focus on going into the future for them is developing their offense. offloading Sunil Chetri, the all-time great, offloading him, retiring him if needed, but starting to look elsewhere to develop younger talent, Indian talent that can maybe reach those same heights at the winger position or at the striker position. That's India's key, I think, for the next 5 years. It's just looking for offensive talent because defensively, like you said, I actually think they're very, very solid, and there's a lot of room there to grow. And as for Syria, man, I mean, this team is just so representative of the approach of just playing games so tight. They love that tight approach to matches. And there was a moment in this game once they went up 1-0 and India started push. I just feel so confident that Syria had it in the bag because they had their whole 11 in their own half and they just looked ready for India to come at them. Obviously, India didn't have the reinforcements to cause any danger, but Syria in that setting, man, it's one of the toughest teams to play against. When you're 1-0 down to Syria and you need a goal, one of the toughest spots to be in Asia, bro. It's a nightmare. And Syria, I think, can make a surprise in this tournament if they can just continue utilizing this tactic and executing it.
Oh, yeah. I completely underestimated Syria's ability to be so down to defend. Completely underestimated it. And going forward, I'm actually going to be excited to see their knockout game because I know they're going to keep it as tight as possible. They probably won't score, but if they can get like a goal off of a corner kick or off of some sort of set piece and it's 1-0 to Syria, then the opponent's going to find it very difficult to try to get back into the game. So I don't know. I don't necessarily like the way Syria play, but it's just so interesting since they're so good at it on the defensive end.
Match rating for this one, what do you go with?
For this one, I'm going to give it a 7.3.
7.3?
Yeah. I thought it was really entertaining, just it lacked in goals.
Yeah. I'm going to go 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Give me that 7, producer Rudd. And that seals Group B with Australia finishing in first, Uzbekistan in second, Syria in third, and India in fourth. I just want to make a note here. I've gotten these two first groups completely right in order, okay? I just want to point that out. Because you had India going third in this one.
I did, yeah. Okay? I thought that India would be a little bit more feisty offensively, but it ended up being the exact opposite. India's offense did not show up, and Syria's defense completely showed up.
Yeah.
And I think that's how Syria got through.
It was close, bro.
Credit to them.
It was close. 60 minutes in, I was like, if India gets a goal here, they're up 1-0, and your predictions are being right. So it really was that close.